welcome back to the Stitches and Scribbles channel. My name is Erin and I've got a Faire vlog that I'm starting with you today. So I am going to the Renaissance Fair this Saturday. It's currently Monday when I'm filming this, which is a little bit of a tight schedule for me, but I think the DIYs for this are going to be pretty minimal compared to some of the other stuff I've done in the past. I do have a crochet item planned. I have a couple of accessories planned that I want to make. So we'll just kind of see how much we can get done in the week, but I'm going to start with the biggest part of the project first. So I am going to be dressing up as a pirate for this Renaissance Fair, and I have the base of the costume already because I've done pirate looks before. So I'm going to kind of go with an all black look with my pirate hat, a like loose fitting blouse with bell sleeves and a flowy skirt, but I'm gonna do accents all in like emerald green and dark green. So that might mean that when it comes time to put together the final costume, I might layer some skirts, I might add some little scarves or things to add more like different fabrics to the outfit, but I'm also going to be crocheting a top to go over my blouse. I do have a set of stays that I've used for costumes in the past that are in dark green, but I'm kind of at a point now where I really hate wearing things that have too much structure to them when it's hot out, which Renaissance Fair costumes, a lot of them have stays or corsets or some sort of a garment that has boning in it. But especially if I'm the one driving to the Renaissance Fair, I hate having those pieces incorporated into my costumes. So I'm kind of trying to take an avenue now where I'm replacing that set of stays that I use for a lot of my costumes with crocheted pieces, because then they're softer, more comfortable, and just easier to wear. I've had people question me before if wearing crocheted items to the Renaissance Fair is too hot, but honestly to me it's not any hotter than wearing stays. I've never worn a true corset, but it's definitely the same heat level as wearing stays without the discomfort of something too structured or something feeling too tight. So that's kind of the direction I'm going. I have crocheted stays or like a corset inspired top in the past. And for this one, I wanted to pick something that would give the same vibe of kind of adding like almost a vest piece to the costume, but I picked something totally different that I've never tried before. This is a wrap style top that I'm going to be working with, and I will make sure to link the pattern below. I purchased it on Etsy, but it is the goldenrod wrap top designed by Earth Tricks on Etsy. I picked this top based off of the like initial picture that came up, which made it look like a vest that had like a wrap sweater tie situation going on and very cropped. So I thought it would work well with a high-waisted skirt. I tend to do like a really chunky belt with pockets in it for my pirate look, so I thought it would pair well. But I actually think that this is a pattern I could get a lot of use out of for future costumes because it comes with a ton of variations to it. So instead of just doing the like wrap vest, there are two different sleeve options if you want to add sleeves. There's also a hood option. There's also an option to make it a faux wrap top instead of an actual like tied wrap top. I'm going to be doing the vest with the tie wrap top option because I thought the like strings hanging down would kind of add to the pirate look. And the only other like change I'm making from the pattern is that the original pattern calls for sport weight or DK yarn, but I am going to be using worsted weight yarn. So I am going up a hook size and making a size smaller than what I would normally wear. So I typically wear a 2XL, so I'm going to make the XL or even the large size once I like kind of get going and see what my measurements are looking like. But the yarn I purchased for this is the Lily Sugar and Cream in the color Dark Pine. It's a lovely emerald green color. I did purchase 8 of these. I don't think I'm going to need them all for the top, but when I ordered the yarn, I hadn't selected a pattern yet, which is why I ended up with a pattern that doesn't match the yarn type I chose. But that should leave me plenty left over to make some additional accessories. So Depending on time, I'm probably going to try to make a hat band for my pirate hat so that I can add some green feathers instead of the orange ones I had for my last costume. If I'm really ahead of the game, I might make myself a bag or something to carry around items with me throughout the day, but this is definitely going to be a let's see how many DIYs we can squeeze into a week before heading to the Ren Fair. But without further ado, I'm gonna just start crocheting my wrap top. It is now day 3 of working on this costume. I finished the sweater mostly on Monday when I started. I ended up just having to do the like tie band at the bottom on Tuesday, so it ended up being a really quick project, which I was kind of surprised by. I think in total, well, I say quick. I think in total I spent 6 or 7 hours on this, so it's totally doable in one day without the sleeves if you are a similar size to me. But I really like how it turned out. I think that the like V crochet stitch that it's made in will allow it to be slightly breathable while still maintaining the structure that a corset would, and the ties are nice and long so that I can loop those around. I did think about adding beads or something to the ties, but I'm not sure if I want to do that yet, and I don't know if I'd want them on the finished piece, so if I do them, I'm gonna have to figure out some way to do them like temporarily. And I'm going to dive into some other DIYs today, but I figured I'd show you kind of the other costume pieces first, just kind of the stuff I'm thinking about including. First off, I have a pair of skirt hikes, and if you haven't seen these before, you put them on a belt and you can loop parts of your skirt through it so that you get like different layers and textures. I'm only going to use these if I can find my other skirt that appears to be missing, but otherwise I just have a single black skirt, in which case I wouldn't use these, but we'll see if those end up in the finished costume. I also have a couple of leather cuff bracelets, one with just some little bottles on it, one with a little charm. Those might be part of the costume just because they're black leather. I have this piece that I purchased from the Renaissance Fair a couple years ago. It is a bracer that goes on your arm, and it has a dagger inside. I'm not going to pull the dagger out just to keep it safe, and I will have to zip tie that before going to the fair, just because that's how they maintain safety for everybody. I have a black long-sleeved blouse to kind of be one of my base layers. That's pretty standard. I've worn it with other costumes before. And I have a long black skirt that has some like panels that stick off of it to give it a very textured look. It looks pretty wrinkly right now, but I know with like 2 ounces of humidity in the air, it'll straighten right back out, so I'm not too concerned about that. I have my belt pouch that I use as my purse for the fair. That one's pretty standard to my costumes as well. I also have a flask on a belt. I just use this for water, but it comes in a black leather case, which also kind of goes with my black leather stuff. And then I have 2 scarves I set aside that I might add to the costume. I haven't decided whether I want to or not. This is a like pashmina style scarf with some Celtic knots on it, and this is one that I made along with a little sword brooch. But since both of those are a fairly different shade of green from the vest that I made, I'm not sure if I want to include those yet. And then the last piece I have, of course, is my pirate hat. I just got this on Amazon, but it has served me well for the last couple years. And I had created a hat band for it last year for a Halloween costume with some orange feathers, but I wanted to do a different one this year and use something green. So I found, whoops, some peacock feathers. Unfortunately, these are not as green as I wanted them to be, but I think that they will still work. And I have a little metal piece to hold all the feathers together. So I think I'm gonna start by some sort of a glue situation for my peacock feathers, although it looks like several of them are falling apart. So this could get interesting. And then work on crocheting a hat band, and then maybe dive into some jewelry. Alright, I ended up doing 2 beaded items. The first one I made is a necklace. I made this pretty long and just used black, green, and silver beads, kind of whatever I had in stash. I did use this lime green fishing wire that I happen to have, just because I knew it wouldn't be visible in the finished piece because I wasn't using any clear beads, so I figured go ahead and use the weird color. And then I also made these. They're not earrings. I don't really know what to call them. But these are findings that I got at Hobby Lobby. There's a couple other craft stores that have them, or you can get them on Amazon. They sit over your ear, and then all the little pieces hang down behind and in front of your ear. So then you can wear normal earrings or use these if you don't have ear piercings. But I thought that they would be a fun addition to a pirate look because it allows for like more little dangly pieces. I also did finish my hat band, so I ended up braiding that green yarn that I used for the top with some silver thread and a kind of bronzy chain, and then adding the feathers on there. And I did make the string long enough that it hangs down in the back. So that's actually going to be it for these DIYs. I thought I was going to be a lot more pressed for time this week, and I thought that the top was going to take a lot longer. So I'm actually satisfied with everything I got done. So next time you see me, I will be getting ready, or possibly already in costume. I might be getting ready with friends, so we'll see how that stage of the process looks. But yeah, I'm done with the DIY portion, so on to the actual costume. That's going to be it for this Ren Fair vlog. I'm sorry I didn't get as much footage as I would have liked to, but I was really having a great day with my friends, both the getting ready and being at the fair, which did not leave a ton of time for filming, but I got some good clips to show you, good clips and photos, I should say, to really show off the costume and just some of the ambiance of the fair. And I know that most of you are here for the crafty part of the journey anyway. This costume worked really well for me. I definitely appreciated having the kind of wrap sweater style top instead of a corset or stays. It made it a lot more comfortable and a lot easier to regulate body temperature. It was about 82 degrees and not too humid, so not the worst fair day I've ever had, but I've definitely had some cooler ones, so it was definitely hot. And the jewelry I made worked out really well. I loved the ear hook things that I found from Hobby Lobby because it allowed me to make a really big chunky earring that didn't weigh on my ear itself because the weight was distributed over my whole ear instead of just on my earlobes. They were a lot more manageable to wear and I didn't have any pain wearing them throughout the day. It also came in handy that we had a small child traveling with us for the day who thought jewelry was very interesting, and I can confirm that there was no pain from tugging on those earrings because it was not actually attached to my ear. So for any parents of small children watching, bonus point for that style of ear jewelry was you can tug on it all you want and it's not going to do anything. Worst case, it will just fall off. So yeah, it was a really fun costume. I think it's definitely one of my favorites I've put together so far. There are a couple things that I would like to add to my pirate costume in the future, mainly a fun drinking vessel of some sort, whether it's like a tankard or something like that, that can hang off of my belt. I'd like to eventually create a little like critter animal for this one too. I've done dragons and like little mushroom guys in the past. So maybe a green parrot of some sort would be fun with this costume, but I don't know yet. I'll have to save that for a future Ren Fair visit. But that's going to be it for this vlog. I hope you enjoyed seeing the process of putting together a partially DIY costume. Also hope that this shows you that even with just a couple of simple base pieces, you can really make a costume shine with home crafted accessories and other pieces. So yeah, hope this gave you some inspiration for your next costume. Thank you for watching this video. If you're interested in seeing more crafty stuff here on my channel, not just Ren Fair stuff, but also tutorials and vlogs about other crafts that I do, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. And if you want to follow me on other social media, that information will be in the description box. Thanks again so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye everyone!